Captain Jake Morrison stood before the crystalline throne, sweat beading on his forehead despite the climate-controlled atmosphere of the royal chamber. The Valerian queen towered above him, her iridescent skin shifting between deep purple and silver as emotions played across her features. 6 arms gestured gracefully while she spoke, each movement fluid and hypnotic. Human. Her voice resonated through translation devices embedded in the walls. Your species has impressed me greatly during these negotiations. Jake nodded respectfully, trying not to show his nervousness. 3 months of delicate diplomacy had led to this moment. Earth needed the Valerian trade routes desperately. Their advanced technology could solve humanity's energy crisis within a generation. Your persistence in learning our customs, your dedication to understanding our culture, and your remarkable patience with our lengthy deliberations have not gone unnoticed, the queen continued, her 4 eyes fixed upon him intently. The other human diplomats had returned to their ship, leaving Jake as the sole representative for this final meeting. He had volunteered for the assignment, knowing that Valerian protocol required singular focus during crucial decisions. Therefore, the queen announced, rising from her throne with elegant grace, I propose a union between our species that would cement this alliance permanently. Jake's heart hammered against his ribs. Marriage between species had never been attempted, though Valerian biology made certain aspects theoretically possible through their advanced genetic harmonization chambers. However, she continued, a playful tone entering her translated voice, there is a condition that must be met first. Her lower arms folded across her chest while her upper arms spread wide. You must correctly guess my true name. The challenge hung in the air like a physical presence. Jake knew that Valerian names held deep cultural significance, often containing their entire lineage, achievements, and spiritual connections woven into complex linguistic patterns. If you succeed, the queen said, stepping down from her throne platform, our union will bring unprecedented prosperity to both our worlds. Her voice grew serious. If you fail, the trade negotiations end, and your people must find other solutions to their energy needs. Jake's mind raced through everything he had learned about Valerian naming conventions during his cultural immersion training. Their names typically consisted of 5 parts: birth constellation, family line, personal achievements, spiritual guide, and chosen destiny. The queen moved closer, her towering form casting rainbow shadows across the polished floor. You have until the twin moons align tomorrow evening, she declared. Use your time wisely, human Jake Morrison. That night, Jake retreated to his quarters aboard the diplomatic vessel. He spread every cultural document, linguistic analysis, and anthropological report across his desk. Fellow diplomats offered suggestions, but ultimately the decision rested solely with him. He studied star charts, genealogical records, and achievement databases. The queen had ruled for 70 Earth years, leading her people through technological renaissance and territorial expansion. She had pioneered their current peaceful philosophy and established trade relations with 16 different species. As dawn approached, Jake made an unexpected discovery in an obscure historical text. The document mentioned a young Valerian princess who had once declared that names held power only when freely given, not when demanded or guessed. The realization struck him like lightning. When the twin moons began their celestial dance the following evening, Jake returned to the royal chamber. The queen waited, surrounded by her advisors and court officials. Crystalline recording devices captured every moment for posterity. Have you reached a decision, human? The queen asked, her tone neutral but her eyes betraying curiosity. Jake stepped forward confidently. Your Majesty, I have spent countless hours studying your culture, your history, and your personal achievements. He paused, meeting her gaze, directly. But I realize now that guessing your name would be an act of presumption and disrespect. Murmurs rippled through the assembled court. The queen's advisors exchanged uncertain glances. Instead, Jake continued, I would ask that you share your name with me willingly, as equals entering into partnership. He placed his hand over his heart in the traditional Valerian gesture of sincere request. For I believe true union cannot be built upon games or challenges, but only upon mutual trust and freely given knowledge. Silence filled the chamber for long moments. The queen's skin shifted through rapid color changes, indicating intense emotional processing. Finally, she began to laugh, a sound like crystal chimes dancing in a gentle breeze. "Remarkable," she said, stepping down to stand before him at equal height. "In 70 years of rule, no suitor has ever declined to play the guessing game." Her 4 eyes sparkled with genuine delight. They all assumed they could solve the puzzle through cleverness or research. She extended her primary hand toward Jake. "My name is Lyra, given freely to one who understands that respect matters more than victory." Jake accepted her hand, feeling the warm texture of her unusual skin. "Thank you for trusting me with it, Lyra." "The surprising truth," Lyra announced to her court, "is that there was never a real name to guess." Her advisors nodded knowingly. The test was whether this human would try to take what he wanted or wait for what I was willing to give. The formal ceremony took place 3 weeks later, broadcast across both worlds. Jake and Lyra exchanged vows of partnership, promising cooperation between their species for generations to come. The energy crisis ended within 2 years as Valerian technology transformed Earth's power infrastructure. Human innovations in return helped Valerian colonies expand throughout their sector of space. But perhaps most surprisingly, Jake and Lyra discovered that their union brought more than political benefits. The genetic harmonization process allowed them to share experiences, memories, and emotions in ways neither species had thought possible. Their partnership became a symbol throughout the galaxy, proof that understanding and respect could bridge any gap between worlds, no matter how vast the differences might seem. And whenever young diplomats asked for advice, Jake would smile and tell them the same thing. Sometimes the wisest choice is not to play the game at all, but to change the rules entirely. The human who refused to guess had won something far more valuable than he had ever imagined possible.